Alright guys, 5 o'clock here in London. Let's have a look at what happened in the market today. So if we start with the overnight news.
Central Bank Governor
With the overnight news, so you had China calling that the Bloomberg sources that we had yesterday was actually fake news. So that affected the T-notes market. Just as a reminder, the news from yesterday, was that China was not interested anymore in the US Treasuries. So we've seen a bit of pressure in the price of the T-notes. This is what you can see here on my charts. And then last night, overnight here in London, China official came and said that was actually fake news. So we see the recovery of these moves to the downside. Totally recovered. T-notes managed to take the R1 level of the day during the early hours of the European session this morning, now just sitting at around the pivot level. Then it's been a pretty quiet European morning sessions, and you had to wait until 12:30 to see a bit of pickup in activity. So 12:30 today you had the ECB December meeting minutes that have been released, and then the main headlines was that forward guidance and the language surrounding the ECB policy stance could be revisited in the early stages of this year, 2018, and that there was an increased confidence that inflation pressure would take hold and short-term downward pressure on core inflation was temporary. So the reaction was that we've seen in the euro. Let me just go back to the euro chart here. So this is 12:30. We're trading just below the pivot level. At 12:30, managed to take this 120 psychological handle here. So hawkish reaction, euro pushing to the upside, break above the pivots, managed to take the R1 level of the day as well, 120.51. At the same time, just bring up my bond chart. So the ECB turning more hawkish. You see the currency appreciating to the upside, and then T-notes, well, not T-notes, sorry, the bond, but the treasuries of Europe, German bond here, moving to the downside, following the hawkishness of the ECB minutes. If we also have a look at the DAX, so the euro pushing to the upside, negatively correlated with the DAX. As you guys know, the DAX companies, they generate a lot of revenues overseas, so the currency strengthening, that's a net negative for the companies making up the index, so negative correlation here. The DAX to a 30, starting to push lower, trading around the pivot level, all the way down to the S1 level of the day. After that 130, you had the US CPI, or US PPI, sorry, the US CPI are the ones coming out tomorrow at 130. So if I just transition my screen here, we all had a miss on expectations for the core PPI and the PPI month-on-month, year-on-year. As you can see here, we expected for the core PPI year-on-year 2.5, had a miss on expectation where actual number was 2.3. Core PPI month-on-month is the same. PPI month-on-month expectation was 0.2. We had a reading of minus 0.1. And then for the PPI year-on-year, we're expecting 3%. We only had 2.6%. So that helped the continuation of the move to the upside that we've seen in the euro because of US dollar weakness. And if you have a look at 130 for the euro, let's go back to the time of the release. It was actually this one here. So as you can see, we just transition the screen back. This is the reaction here that we've seen in the price of the euro. So US dollar weakness, euro USD currency pair pushing to the upside. If we have a look at where we're trading now for the euro, we managed to take the high of yesterday. We tested the R2 level of the day, 121.06, and then a bit of profit taking. Now we're just ranging in between this R2 level, R1 level of the day. Moving on into Oil continued the rally that we've seen since really the end of 2017, the final few days 2017. Oil now trading above levels that we last seen at the end of November 2014. Oil now, WTI, currently trading at 64.55, and the Brent oil now trading above $70 per barrel. So as you can see here in my chart, oil this morning managed to break above the R1 level of the day, managed to test this 64 psychological handle. That was also the R2 level of today. Then a bit of profit taking, retraced all the way down to R1 of the day, 63.75, before the really strong push to the upside, and then just stopped 64.77, so just shy of this 65 psychological handle here in WTI crude. Finally, if you have a look at the equity market, Dow Jones today managed to make new all-time high level again. So we managed to take the high of 2 days ago, which was the R1 level of today. Now we're just trading underneath this R2 level. But Dow Jones, new all-time high. If we just quickly have a look at tomorrow's calendar, conclude this wrap. So you have balance of trade overnight from China, and then pretty quiet European morning session, not many economic data scheduled, and then the best, let's say, trade opportunity, if we have a look here on the scheduled economic data, would be at 1:30 with the inflation reading. So this time the CPI from the US, core inflation and inflation rate for the month of December, as well as the retail sales for the US coming out 1:30 as well. And then 3 o'clock you also have the business inventories for the month of November. And then because tomorrow is Friday, you'll also have the weekly Baker Hughes oil recount. So tomorrow morning, not many economic data scheduled, but then we're gonna start with the US session, 1:30, inflation readings, and the retail sales for the month of December. Okay guys, enjoy your evenings, and I'll speak to you later.